Hello!
We are back. We are in the lounge in the basement of the family church. What a cool space.
It's Tuesday night. We've just finished the lounge. We played, what's it called?
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. Played Fall Guys. We did some music instruments, played some drums, guitar, and chilled out.
Nice. We are joined by a very special guest. Introduce yourself, Liam.
My name's Liam. I'm 16 at the moment. I've just finished all my exams at school and I'm going to the army in September.
Liam also helps out on a Tuesday night.
He does, he does.
It's been great.
Yeah, so today we're going to be having another chat, and this time it's going to be about mental health. Mental health is something that has been really flagged up over the last few years especially, and even more now with COVID.
It didn't affect me as much as others, for sure. I've just had my experience of COVID, which was getting it twice. I don't know how you get it twice, but I got it twice. I got over it fairly alright. So I've got a little daughter, she's nearly 2. Actually kept me busy for like working at home and stuff. I think it's been really interesting going into schools, and we go to KCC quite often now, really.
Yeah.
And
a few times a week.
Yeah, since the lockdown finished, since school restarted, been doing a lot of mentoring one-to-one, where we just sit and chat with kids and give them that space to kind of say what's on their heart, what's on their minds, and all the stuff that's kind of weighing them down or whatever. I've actually noticed, like in some kids, COVID and lockdown has impacted them positively too. Like not realising kind of what school provided in terms of that structure, place to meet friends, the difficulties of like learning at home and over like falling behind or whatever through doing teams and stuff. Actually, I was really surprised to also see quite a lot of students coming out with like a new attitude.
Yeah.
So I think you can use difficult situations and turn them around and work them into positives as well.
Yeah.
It's not everybody also that struggles, and I think that needs remembering and you know, like looking at as well. How about you, Liam? How did COVID like affect you?
It was difficult at the start when it all broke out, because everyone had all these things to worry about and things to do, and then all of a sudden there's just nothing to do. And I think what I found was I found something to look forward to, or an aim to do, whether it was every day or like for my whole life kind of thing. And that's what I was lucky enough to have, because I had something to look forward to, which was the army. So I had my fitness to get better and like getting prepared for that.
Yeah.
So I think it was really important in the lockdown to find something to do every day, or find like a purpose or a goal or an aim.
Yeah.
And then, because if not, it'd be really easy to fall down a bad slope of, I don't know, just bad feelings and bad thoughts, because otherwise you're just cooped up all the time just by yourself and your feelings and nothing to do.
I think you can definitely, it's very easy to overthink stuff when you're like not doing anything.
It is just really easy to get into a down spiral, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
I think, like you say, when everything that is normal or that you kind of are used to is taken away in many ways, you've got to find different ways of coping, and it's not always easy.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, normal to feel sad sometimes. It's okay to feel a bit. Doesn't mean that, you know, you've got some massive brain problem. It's when it goes on for a while, like a couple of weeks or a month or a couple of months. That's when it's a good idea to speak to someone. I mean, it's always good to speak to people about it, but to speak to maybe a professional and see if there's anything they can do to help.
Yeah, I find, especially as a man, because obviously I can't really speak about a woman's mental health because I'm a man. I find that a lot of young men, especially people I'm friends with, they find it really, really difficult to speak about it.
Yeah.
And I know that's said quite a lot, but there's so many people talking about it, it's kind of became like almost a trend, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know, they find quite embarrassed to even just bring it up or
So
feel.
do you think that the ones that are actually like really struggling with it, like genuinely, do you think they're less likely to talk about it?
Yeah, definitely.
But then there's other people that are like, maybe not, like maybe it's just surface level and they're really, I don't want to say playing on it.
I think what a lot of people forget is that having a good mental health isn't always about being happy all of the time, it's about a balance.
It can be a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, like if you think If you think you've got a problem and you're feeling really low, then you will feel really low, and it can then get worse, and then it can turn into like a real problem. And I think especially when you're seeing it all over social media and different ways of coping. I think one of the reasons why self-harm has increased so much is because it's talked about more, and that's good that there's more awareness, but people are now seeing that as an option, as a coping mechanism to try and help, and that's not good. But the problem with it is that it does help for like a minute or a few seconds. Awareness is really, really good, but it can be unhelpful, I think, in a lot of ways.
So you've had some personal experience of mental health issues. You're quite open really with it in terms of how you share it with people. But you're also a Christian.
Yes.
We hear a lot, don't we, about the truths of the Bible, that God loves us. He thought of us before the world was even created. He has a plan and a purpose for your life. We believe we can look forward to eternity with God in this amazing heaven, whatever that might look like. So surely, shouldn't we as Christians always be like positive and optimistic, but we also live with, mental health problems? How does that all play out for you?
So, very briefly, my childhood was really good, everything was great, but I'd always been a bit perfectionist, put a lot of pressure on myself. I was in a bad relationship for quite a while, and when I was 15 I just started to feel really, really low, and I tried all sorts of things to cope and ended up self-harming quite badly, and my eating wasn't very good, and I got to the point where I just didn't want to live anymore, and I ended up in hospital when I was 17. I stayed there for 4 months. I saw so many counsellors and psychologists and psychiatrists and all sorts, and while that did help a bit, what made the most difference was when I was in hospital and I kind of came to the end of myself. I'd done everything anyone could possibly do to try and make themselves feel better. I kind of say that I became a Christian when I was about 12, but what that really was just kind of saying, yeah, okay, God, you can be a part of my life. But all through the time when I was feeling really low, I'd been really angry at God. Like, I couldn't understand why he was allowing this stuff to happen to me. It didn't make any sense. Everyone was saying, oh, God loves you and he wants to help you. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not. And it didn't make any sense. But yeah, I got to the end of myself and I was like, well, you know what, God? I can't do this myself. I've tried everything. No one else can seem to help me that much. So please do something. And it didn't happen straight away, but things got a lot better from that kind of period. And that was like 5-6 years ago now. And I still have depression. I still have to take medication every day. Sometimes it is just really hard, but that doesn't mean that God hasn't been there, that he doesn't love me, or that I've done something wrong. It just means that for whatever reason, this is just how my brain is working at the moment. I just know that God's still good.
It's interesting, you didn't say what a lot of people kind of might say today, like, I just feel like, but you say I know, and actually that's one of the great things about having a relationship with Jesus is there are truths which no matter how you feel, you know that those truths aren't changed.
One of the other things that helped was, and like I did this with God, I couldn't have done it by myself, my brain wasn't doing anything, but was kind of working out my core beliefs, like what is at the foundation of me, like what do I think about myself, and I think there is definitely like core beliefs for everyone, for whatever that is. It could be good, it could be like, yeah, I'm good enough, I'm worthy of like a great future and success in however that looks like or whatever. But sometimes through whatever reason, maybe like something's happened or people have said stuff and you might not even realise that it's affected you, but that can affect like what you think about yourself on like a really deep level, and kind of changing that, replacing those beliefs with the truth, what God says about us in the Bible, that is so true, that he knows us fully, but he still loves us fully, that he designed us and created us, and that he looks on us and he thinks you're amazing. And you know, it's like an artist, if they make a painting and then someone comes along and says, oh, I don't like your painting, that's going to make the artist pretty upset. And it's like God with us. He made us, he created us, and he designed us so amazing. And when we go along and we say, oh, don't like this, don't like that, want to change that, it makes God really sad. And so, yeah, replacing like whatever we might think about ourselves with the truth, who we are, everything else kind of comes from that.
Is there any advice that you think is really important for people if they're struggling a little bit in the day-to-day?
Yeah, just finding things to do. Like even if it's literally just making your bed in the morning. I saw a thing that was like, it was an ex-Marine. He was saying things like, oh, no matter how bad you're feeling, as soon as you wake up and get ready, make your bed, so that when you're finished with the day, you can come home and you've got a nice bed made. So I don't know, just find things to do, even if it's like the smallest things. Just really focus on them and get them done. Yeah, and what you'll find a lot of the time as well is when you share something with someone, they'll probably feel the same. I've noticed that a lot. Like I've seen people speak to someone and then everyone's just kind of related, and it's been like a thing that everyone's wanted to say but just no one said it. And even if you do speak to someone older, they'll probably definitely have felt that before.
Have you ever had like a friend or a mate or something just say to you that they're struggling a bit with their mental health?
Yeah, once.
How did that make you feel when your friend asked you?
Makes you feel shocked really, because you're hanging out with them most days, speaking to them a lot, and then they tell you that and it's like, oh, why haven't you ever brought this up before, kind of thing. But all you've really got to do is just support them and make sure that they're feeling alright, and just share stuff with them, I guess. So
it kind of comes down to how we treat others and how they feel about us, you know. Jesus, he summed up all the kind of commands and everything in the Old Testament. He said, you know, love the Lord your God, so love God and love one another. We can all create that environment with our friends where actually, hey, we're here for you, and I know you're there for me.
So we really hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions or comments or anything, please feel free to get in contact with us.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, cool. We'll put some helpful links down in the description box, and you can go and check those out if you want to. But otherwise, we will see you
the next time
we do a video.
It's funny because I said